And NDC. The two parties have excluded some of our best talents with narrow doors, closed with underhand tactics. We will educate the public that UP Plus is different, with open doors, welcoming merit, and prepared to work with everybody. This party is a unique party. No discrimination, no tribalism. You know, no, you don't come from my region. I don't come from the same region with you. So this guy, sideline him. We are a people with coming from one nation, one destiny. So we are one people, never to discriminate. If you're an Akan or Ashanti, precise, I'm Gunja Hausa, I'm Nkonya, I'm Kweu. We are all the same. Sometimes I find it difficult to even express my ethnicity or my tribe. Because as I stand here, I have 9 blood in me. Oh yes, I have Scottish blood, I have Fanti blood, I have Kweu blood, I have Ashanti blood, I have Gunja blood, I have Hausa blood, I have Grushi blood, I have Chumbulu blood. So you see, I speak all those languages. It's not being concocted, it's true. Those who know me, I speak in Konya. Those who speak in Konya, try me. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, this is something you should reflect. Indeed, nearly 2 million persons refused to vote in the last elections. They were prepared to risk their lives. Some of you were part of it. To risk your life in opposition. Is that not so? Because they preferred a better leadership. Ghana, and I repeat, Ghana, we have no problem. Ghana has no problem. We have a leadership crisis. We need people, when we talk of leadership, somebody who will lead, a transformational leader, a transactional leader, a servant leader, charismatic leader. When he appears, I'm not just trying to sell Alan as my leader and will be no, he has to justify when the time comes. But the point is that when you find certain leaders, nobody tells you that this is a leader. Handsome, tall, broad. What again? I mean, there are certain representations when you take for somebody to come and represent your country. How do you feel? I won't go there, but at least how do you feel? So, so some of you risked your lives. Some of you were at the verge of being attacked, killed, wounded, just because you had ceded off to support Allah. I know some were beaten, attacked in the night. Some even had their houses burnt. But yes, blocked. But ladies and gentlemen, for anything good, you take risk for greater return of what? return. Whatever you have lost, we pray, inshallah, God will replenish it. We will replenish it, and then
Those thrilling Thursday evening, 5 minutes past 6. If your time synchronizes with mine, you are live on the Kremre, live on Today Ghana News TV. Meeting Lawrence Apieni Ebua. May your host for Energy Media. Saturday, no. We are streaming live on other platforms. Abibi Awo Ghana Habiano. Mijidi Paso Benya BT. Now, also, the Wajan Chabe Kaya Ona, Editi Jumedi, no said a baby, me. I can't Kayama on satellite. No, we are via light Twitch, now Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Nina Today Ghana News TV. That is the search handle. Oba, Ibe appear on now when you be a share. Also, no, me kind boss say, Uko be BMB, I also chim him my 93.5. We are live, Saransona, Kings Radio, Ewa Kraya. Jamframa TV, no, Rara, Sekina Information Center, Tatali, Northern Ghana, Adelemon Community Information Center, Sansona, Uko Voter Regional, Fans TV, no Flow. Samre, we are live on all these platforms. You make sure say that you made the Ebro Baby or Biano. But I was saying, no more Kabasawaji Brena, we need a bit to medium. A boom, and they men Chamokra said that Maminko, Naminkofa, and send you to me. Eko pim ewo the Evening Tribune na nsame eko pim we head front page no if I'm bro sports minister hit back at multimedia sembe no chegu Samsona we share on the right side na see Akufo-Addo honored as lay canon of St. Peter's Cathedral Koforidia. Russia, man, Penida Akufo-Addo and Udina on. Health Minister cut sword for Ghana Medical Trust Fund headquarters. Intimpacho. Sanstami and the account be the Evening Tribune among Michelle. So when you be en Shimua, Popebi, na Shimu so kind of who the echo. Evening news, the Evening Tribune, dear. So. The course were Ghana be a winny be womb. Just a young fancy be ember counter said the 10 penny womb. And to be will be an recopebi, Nakaina who the air course were Ghana. And then I have some interesting topics we are maybe discuss it. Before that, Mekai will say, so be kind say on Facebook and I say any of the platforms that you stream on be and patch up. Simple. Just make sure say you like, you share. And you also add your comments. You will be a comment fee. Now also for Adrian Chenbeck on 950 Jumedino. Na enye fefe. Mpeni from Nyomudi Juma and Mr. Masood Abongo Doctor. Sansona Honorable Emmanuel Ano and so Abeka and saying Ray. But and then because of the topic, we have a special person now. A person introduced to nine in common. He's a security consultant. Mr. Richard Kumado. Pacho, Samambodi Amfancheme. Mr. Richard Kumado Abeka and a security consultant. Sir, good evening.
Good evening.
Pacho Apum.
I'm fine, thank you.
Right. We thank you also for joining us today on this platform. We are looking at issues with regards to security. And I believe you are very much familiar with the topics that we're discussing today when it comes to security. Please, when it comes to security, I would like to go forward. When it comes to security, what does the requirement say, or what does one need to have in terms of physique before one can even venture into the security, and why those requirements?
Are you talking about security recruitment, or you are talking about security in general?
Yes, in general, but it's like currently in Ghana, I'm in Ghana, so I'm speaking as a Ghanaian, or my experience as a Ghanaian. There are some features that when you require, you are not even eligible to enlist in the service.
So
Why?
security recruitment or security enlistment is different from when we talk about security. If you look at the national security sector, if you look at the national security sector, you have about 8 different elements within. You have private companies, providing security services, and you have corporate institutions providing corporate security before you have the state security apparatus. And so if you are talking about security recruitment into the state agencies, there are different parameters and there are different dimensions. If that is what we are talking about, then all the security agencies of the state, the military, the BNI, customs, police service, prison, fire service, immigration, they have peculiarity of what they do. And the nature of the job they do means that they have peculiar criteria set for people who are willing of have expressed intent of joining them. And there are various categories of criteria you will have to meet in order to qualify to join the military. For instance, people have talked about the age. The age is just one criteria you will have to cross over in order to be qualified to be enlisted into any of the security agencies. If the BNI or the Ghana Immigration Service or the Ghana Police Service or the Ghana Armed Forces is looking to recruit emotional intelligence specialists or clinical psychologists, they might not even be looking at age. They might not even be looking at academic qualification. They are looking at the practical experience and how many years you have served in your respective capacity. Then they take you to the field and they say, get a job done for us. If you take the military, for instance, and you are talking about short-term commissioners for 5 years or so, because they have a specialized background and they have a specialty, age is not a priority when it comes to the criteria you have to meet. If you are coming in and you want to go to the military academy, you have first degree, you have second degree, the age limit is different. So there are different categories of people who want to join the military, and there are different categories of criteria standardizations you have to meet, and the age is one of them, but the age is not all. I think for lack of proper education and misinformation about this whole thing, people think that everybody who joins the military will have to be within the ages of 25 to 30. That is not true. And it applies to almost all the institutions. Because of the peculiar nature of what the BNI does and the peculiar nature of the services immigration provides and the Ghana Police Service, they have different criteria for everybody. So that is the way you look at it.
Right. So thank you for the education. I'm sure everyone listening is much more clear about this explanation you've given so far. But I want us to also tackle height, and even in terms of disability. You know, back then in the days where, for instance, because of the nature of the military or any security service, some of these things are required. And per my research, for instance, if you are required to be physically, strong, emotionally strong. So that is why you are also required that you get a certain height and all that. My question is, these days, are all these things relevant when it comes to recruiting the personnel?
Okay, so if you are talking about the military, for instance, they have the age is one of the criteria. They have academic qualification. They have body features. They have body features such as whether you have tattoo, specialized tattoo, whether the size of your leg, the nature of your leg. your height, and many of those things. I just explained to you there are various groupings within the army, and there are various categorizations, and there are various criteria you have to meet. It's not everybody who is joining the army that has to be TikTok because of the various functions you play in the army. But then there's a reason why they have those standardizations. Jurisdictions may differ. What the British Army is looking for might be different from what the Ghana Army is looking for, or what the American Army is looking for. But there are certain basic standardizations you have to meet. And so, therefore, the military have a reason to set up those standardizations. If, as a nation, at any point in time, we want to review it, then those discussions will need to be led by the heads of the security institutions, because they are the ones who have a better understanding and a better insight why they set up those standardizations. For instance, people are going to be working from Ayimensa to Kofrodia, or people are going to be working from Burma camp to Asichari. If you have certain defective or defects within your body structure, you are likely going to have a problem. People spoke so much about the age. You don't want to build an army that cannot fight or that cannot run because the men have dead legs and their hearts are weak and diluted with alcohol. You also don't want to build an army that cannot fight because people are not willing to go through the training process. I remember the Ghana Armed Forces, certain people were recruited and they took the Ghana Armed Forces to court. And they claimed that the kind of training being given to them is too strenuous. But if you want to be a special forces in the US and you want to be a Marine and you want to be a commando, yeah, there are different types of trainings the Marines goes through, the commandos goes through, and the special forces goes through. So you know exactly what you're asking for before you put yourself out there. So it comes across as a standardization the military have, and they are the only people who can best explain why they have those standardizations. But from a general point of view, they are the best they can do, and they serve the best interests of the armed forces, irrespective of the country.
Well understood, sir. But I want you to also touch on disability, in a sense that we have some people who have some form of disabilities, and in our jurisdiction, such people are not even considered. But we live in a world nowadays where you mentioned about you cannot build an army that cannot fight. But these days, we don't even fight with our hands and the guns and the machetes. It's just sending missiles
No,
and
that's
all
not
that.
true. That's not true. No, that's not true. That's not true. When you look at the troops, when you look at the total number of troops the Russians have deployed in the Ukraine war, is huge. You have been seeing the dead bodies being exchanged almost every day. When Americans went to Iraq, you saw how many body bags they brought back home. When the Americans went to Vietnam, they ran away. The wars you are seeing in the Africa region, in the Sahel region particularly, where they renamed them and called them terrorists, people are dying. When you look at the Israeli-Hamas war, which President Trump just stepped in recently, you have been seeing the dead bodies. All the European countries which send soldiers to Ukraine to go and fight, you saw the dead bodies they brought back. So the modern warfare cannot be done without the physical presence of people. In fact, the strength of your army will be as a result of the total number of people you have enlisted into the army, in spite of the fact that you have many missiles and you have reconnaissance drones and many of those ones. Yeah, you still need a manpower, and those manpower is very critical. You remember Ukraine, they even passed a martial law that you cannot leave the country when you are at a certain age. Now they are looking to bring it down to as early as lower as 16. They have put pregnant women in the front line. They have put people in the wheelchair in the front line. You need men. You need men in the front lines to fight, in spite of the fact that some aspect of warfare today borders on equipment. But then again, if you are talking about disability, it's not just when your hands or your legs or your limbs are cut. You can have a mental disability, you can have an eye defect, you can have a hearing problem, you can have a heart problem, you can have many things that qualifies you to be a person with disability. If you are in there before you suffer that level of disability, is different from when you are being enlisted, because there's a criteria for enlistment. And if you don't meet it, you go home and try again.
Thank you. Before I let you go, my last question will still be on the part where you touched on still staying on the disability though. But we have some people, they may not be at the front line, still in the army, and using their experience and their knowledge, making sure that things really go well. Why is it that in our jurisdiction, such people are not even considered at all? All we care about is the people with the correct physiques and that kind of standards that it has been set earlier.
No, it's not. It's not our jurisdiction. Army recruitment is the same everywhere. I've lived in London for 10 years. When you look at their early entry processes and procedures, it's just the same as ours. What they do is that you write aptitude tests and you go for a series of running and physicality and maneuvering tactics. They set up exams for you. You pass all that before you are finally enlisted, before you start the training. If you are in the army and you suffer disability because of a particular practice or war or conflict, it's different from when you are starting afresh, because you have to be trained. People make an argument, which I think is misconception anyway, that you can have 50-year people in the army who are serving. Why can't you recruit 50-year people? No, you don't know what you're talking about. When you take the Ghana CDF today, he might have served in the army for about 30 to 25 years or 40 years. And he has got it to where he is because of the age he joined. If you pick him up today at his current age, maybe 50 or 55, he will not get the experience and the practical knowledge to become a CDF. So all the armies you have seen and all the leaders you have seen who might have had one disability or the other, they have those disabilities during their lifetime. And under certain strict conditions, then they may recruit people who are non-combatants to perform certain administrative functions. Those allowances are there, and those allowances will have to be determined by the army. But to the extent that the nature of the army is very strenuous, all the activities are strenuous, and you have to put your body on the line, you need some level of psychological awareness, physical awareness, emotional awareness, and spiritual awareness in order to go through and be fit for purpose. Other than that, the state invariably will not be benefiting from the investment they have made in you. And that is what we call security economics. If you don't build it properly, you will not get the results and you will struggle.
Lastly, with regards to certain things that also prevent one from getting to them, certain things like tattoo, how is this relevant in recruiting?
Yeah, they set up those criteria. When you look at the US Army, President Donald Trump said transgender and many of those ones should be taken out of the army. There are reasons why the presidents are the commander-in-chief of the armed forces all over the world. There are peculiar and specialized reasons why they set up those standardizations. If you join the special forces, you join the Marine, you join the commandos, and it is there that you have to have certain tattoos in a form of identification and recognition and verifiable identity. That is great. But if the army says that if you have a tattoo already, you cannot join the army, you don't go and stand there and say you come from Boko, or you come from Ketikrachi, or you come from Accra. So they should allow you because your tattoo will have no influence on what you are going to do at the army. You are wrong. This is an army, and this is a disciplined environment, and this is an environment where procedure works, and this is an environment where standardizations work. And I'm seeing that if at any point in time we want to change the criteria in any category or in any form, those discussions should be led by the heads of the security agencies and not politicians. They will create problems.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time with us.
You're welcome.
I believe we've learned so much, and at this juncture, I just have to, excuse you. We are happy you joined us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pacho, Mr. Richard, na neno chiche nkomo na only a security consultant. Based on the topic and they're discussing, we just wanted to have his knowledge or they are also I believe say we are well informed. But I will still go on and introduce my guest and Bedi Jumano. Bedin Kankacha said Mr. Emmanuel Ano, NDC Diaspora Communicators Network is on standby. So now we are expected to be joined by Dr. Masuda Bungo. Oh, Doc, are joining the dam. Penny for Mama Muina Kwaba. Penny for Mama Kwaba.
Yenya, Mechiamuina.
I don't want to say. Doc, I don't want to say.
Oh, Yamiadun, Yamiadun,
Doc, I saw number of you.
Opposition.
Honorable, I know I feel, Papa.
Oh, Jano. So, I pray the power mom, no, Zen, no, come here, come say, Oppress on pepper, the mom was a you gone. Come here, come say, Yamae. Galamse, Muntim, Galamse, once him.
Kawano to mobile made this case galamse topic at the hono and never can once him. Oh, say pray no. Massa, only as in Biaka, NPP no more for the amount, I don't know how to drink home. They are poor people.
Topic in a young basso. I know, Jesus, I know, rush it. You're host to a home. On your boss, your host. Oh, your host. It's my host here. You may rush it.
I don't know. Introduction. You introduce your own tenure on one as well.
Very poor. General no shit.
What is your problem?
I don't have a problem. But don't ask me that I should deal with the topic on board. You are not the host.
And I say, Galamse, who has some alcohol, but beside Galamse, won't talk to us.
Utia, who's a chosen tia? Nakawadia.
Data mute. Mute. Pacho, party. Ye na himself, Preno, Afafranto, movement, and a Omalanchen for cry. Idia that's UP. Na nche biano, penfoko shim the name of Guakim. Before I did a topic on best as in the crown, young corner, young question video, small one of how the whole event went here. But may introduce me topic. I believe say Nimpa joining here for the first time. No, actually, say more about the recruitment into the security service and your account. But few minutes, minimum penny for bidding unkomo. Right after that, we'll jump straight into the Ahmed Swale case and Mr. Remo and come be a little bit bite of the program, of course, so with regards to the then movement party, now UP. Maybe say uncle.
And NDC. The two parties have excluded some of our best talents with narrow doors, closed with underhand tactics. We will educate the public that UP Plus is different, with open doors, welcoming merit, and prepared to work with everybody. This party is a unique party. no discrimination, no tribalism. You know, no, you don't come from my region. I don't come from the same region with you. So this guy sidelined him. We are people with coming from one nation, one destiny. So we are one people. Never to discriminate. If you're an Akan or Ashanti, precise, I'm Gunja Hausa, I'm Nkonya, I'm Kwewu. We are all the same. Sometimes I find it difficult to even express my ethnicity or my tribe. Because as I stand here, I have 9 blood in me. Oh yes, I have Scottish blood, I have Fanti blood, I have Kwewu blood, I have Ashanti blood, I have Gunja blood, I have Hausa blood, I have Grushi blood, I have Chumbulu blood. So you see, I speak all those languages. It's not being concocted, it's true. Those who know me, I speak in Konya. Those who speak in Konya, try me. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, this is something you should reflect. Indeed, nearly 2 million persons refused to vote in the last elections. They were prepared to risk their lives. Some of you were part of it. To risk your life in opposition. Is that not so? Because they preferred a better leadership. Ghana, and I repeat, Ghana, we have no problem. Ghana has no problem. We have a leadership crisis.
Today, Ghana News TV, we are the masters of the game.
Right, indeed, we are the masters of the game. Ugusa Shano Kremre, and now we no Kremre live on Today Ghana News TV. Me am did medium chamedin Lawrence Apini Bois. You try on Kakrabana, or Okoshe, and some of your mamma this week, party, names a movement TV. No, after your launching for crowd, penny form copy Mohon, some of your friend UP. And who 70, Rebecca. Na I'm in studio na many penny phone costa. Earlier on, no many opening recruitment we know. I've got some few minutes. I'm penny for me no be sharing no. Now I touch on that. Now right after that, instead of can kind, we move on straight to Ahmed Swali case now. Depending on some opening ano. This is just an introductory way, but your break no will be your movement purposes. You uplifting no. Now, our penetration. Do you think the NPP party is shaking at this moment?
Lawrence, my friend, I'm praying for from the president, the vice president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and Her Excellency Jenano Pokwajima, Michomo Dumadin. I feel a head of economic management team. You have any economy is running smoothly. It's a good start for a good governance. They say agrobeda ifri nashasi. How we have started so good, I know Ghanaians are feeling that they are really enjoying democracy and enjoying a kind of independence they were expecting when the last 8 years they were in a crisis. So it's a privilege, say, Ghana for Amaya Kwenyana and Omode Tumi Ashe na Yabapa John Dramani Mahama at Otoniema. Mede in Chiakasiema executives are Omoda Party Nano, both from branch to the national, and yet Madi almost boy. Namede in Chiakasiema Yatifonia, her for Ghana for Nina, any the decisive decision I'm making. because at the point in year Ghana for decided the fate of Ghana, and they have made a right choice for deciding good and active leadership. I'll bet to me Ghana I see the right way. And I think I'm privileged. Say, and I'm saying, Enya Kwenyana, Yane Ghana for bidding Komo Efa, Niema Bakum Yenum Yensa, Ekoso Ghana, most especially when it comes to the security. When it comes to the recruitment in the security sector, any Niema Echegu Ghana, I know say so far Niema Bebre Akoso Ghana, but what is relevant at the moment is the security recruitment. Inti Enya Kwenya, you talk about that. Now, a final movement for change, and almost more Alanchi, a different political party. No, I think it's a good move. I think Ghana, we need a third force. And this third force is this party movement for change, because now we can realize a CPP at a form kum. Because CPP we know and him say obey third force to push NDC and NPP to accountability. No, got to a point that more members were taking appointment from both NPP and NDC government into MICPP no call from, but yeah, Alanjemante maybe so until says still NPP moja on. So what ten or making sure so what ten on mass uncle for me that because NPP is going to go down as just like CPP and other political small political parties. Let me use CPP for example because they has been a biggest party before in the normal form. But we know NPP. NPP have changed from UP, from whatever, from you. People sometimes think that NPP started from the UGCC era. No, NPP started from UP, and then from the UP, and then to NPP and other stuff. But I know that this time they are going to go down after this primaries. Until here, NPP the actually end of February 2026, the NPP the Hubabia. Because I know for a sure say party is going to split up, is going to split in pieces because mistakes are so more rectified. They are still boasting. They cannot realize Ghana for your hand time for your hand time away life. And this open way by teacher Ghana for where the power lies. And Lawrence, I don't know. Say,
we did just a introductory with Biana. I'm more touchy on topic. I do on common CCI, dear. With for the Kenya chair. Honorable.
Yeah.
Baby, Sisiano, then of course, on camp. I said, camp, where he moved, Anna.
Oh, Lawrence Wawunim, NPP, the great party. The fathers all political parties in Ghana, NPP. So when you say UGCC, United Gold Coast Convention, ne dankomo, and you friend danko buzia. It's NPP, and even all the political parties, CPP coming kuno, umina free, danko buzia tradition. And take one political party, I Ghana, Achepa, Ghana for Nimipa, NPP, which is UP. And the Ushe movement for change, your Mabana, Omu United Party, and also UP plus. And the Omukaya. But this is not history. Even the founder of NDC, National Democratic Congress, Konedu Ajimorolis, once upon a time ago, Otino, on one who couldn't found the NDC, no, Otino could form a different party, Yenanim. Gizotano, as a see an almost 25 economy, or could form a heritage party. Obeda someone, Dr. Obeda someone, I know your chairman. Otino could form a political party. So say come on matiti party or matiti a party be good ya cause NDC good ada. It in your mo yani the end. Yeah, come na cause NDC good because my mention political parties be say 3 a brochure our mati a free NDC or masaba. But MPP no a party esun Alan Cash or pre. We made Alan Cash. Yeah, any buy even Minister of Trade, right? And a man here, a pigeon, sir, bedroom say. It is out of NPP. And then, yeah, the NPP in which my then, every year, a free no. And it's just one of those small political parties that we have been strategic. Our NPP forming so that at the end of elections, so when I say elections time now, on the integrity and also on the pay information from NDC and NPP. And it is one of the strategy of political parties. And the Lord is, may that say. But my person this may use this opportunity so Achia NPP grassroots be yomu biano. My person may use this opportunity. They be American. So be waha me abongo mashu Jacob person mishia tem bian the grassroots. Omnom kute party no. They are the root of NPP political party. And baby omo biano misolito omo. Na masa use this opportunity to achia all the presidential candidates are on contesting for NPP flag bearership, especially Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia or Bono CCA, or any campaign. Meaning, say, Bawumiophobia, no, Biblina, Bawumiophobia, and Biblina or NDC, and the Omonchaso 31st January 2026, Bawumia be emerge winner, and you take it from there.
That's Mr. Emmanuel and no nomination. Mr. Emmanuel already needing kind of Mr. Kumado Komo about our security recruitment. Now we share your topics now. Say there are some requirements to be mostly no before we recruit you no. Age, height, disability limits, disability no. But my question, I'm so already know what to be. My question, I maybe says, "How money now? Aside the from where you sit, do you think some of the things that a boss are relevant and then can recruitment to look at all those before we enlist somebody into the security service?"
Lawrence, send Mr. Komado Churchman. I think me ya dream bet. Though I had my personal opinion. Now, first of all, young fanny say, your cousin might be a superpower. I think so far, no, you will never be brave consider, and as you might be or you sovereign, or you independent, never be or you. Most of some one is your security, because before I obey a country, no, you must have adequate security. Like I say, adequate security, we are talking about able men who can stand in a combat. And when it comes to recruitment, all other security agencies, I think their criteria shouldn't be the same. That is where I differ. Their criteria shouldn't be the same. Talking about fire service, talking about how do you call it, police, talking about customs, immigration. You see, all these areas, are security. It's our security. The custom, the immigration, the police, the military, and then, let me say the army, because when you say military, I mean Ebiana and Kovaning in idea, but army, no, any a yini in Obiawo. But the criteria for selecting or picking people for army, I think the army is the main strength of the country. Ukraine, any Russia, and Tokwa Mokuya, and also the Yemra Sudan, internal war, Sudan. Internal or many other country and fighting, but they are fighting within themselves. They need able men who are able to move, who are able to show off. But they have two duties to perform: to protect the people and to defend the country. So, how do you take disabled people or people with disability to take such actions? Now, Mr. Kumado stress on something. Your special form of people be a recruiter and a sector be a recruiter. We don't need these limits. We need people with expertise. To take advantage or to apply for this. And in this regards, either you are disabled and you are expert, you can work within this sector. But say a banner rear combat, when it comes to the Air Force, the Navy, the Armed Force, we need enabling people and young men. Media crowd me ana ehamine say enka police ni army no the way you see recruit no crowd. I won't say other countries are doing it the same, but I was say yeah, they no kitimi different kakra. I was saying Kankurano, police in Itiminya, I think there's in some level they have something like police school and other stuff, but minimum what is the use of this police school in Ghana? Because police in say people are more person form or them right like yet to say secondary level no and think BC yeah. Na yetimi ye a kind of selective be from the JHS ni who say we na ho kan ne state channel na a bit my recruit no de na wura amin na afi nka ya ye bibisa military school na wakọ no wanya ntete ye ni nyina from that age discipline ni nyina wanya from that age and then what some of the stories are Anna is funny and is disheartening. We say na no ye see ache asojafo mienu a omako galamsey site akọ robbie. How can a military officer ever engage in such acts? Due to the way you first recruit you. Intimidate menya anka age no kurana and I'm 27 no. I think say it's too early. Nipa no best say ya wase ya wie. Entinka right from JHS no recruitment and starting free junior high. Nanka ye recruit from young. Niyem building or training or all these institutions, most especially the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, and the Armed Force, are discipline institutions, security institutions. You hear people are disciplined, they take orders. You hear people are willing to defend the country. Ghana and Kwana better say military men or a civilian be cool baby who now obia will be sikan obia bobi tuo yakum military bi ha na ave armies akokaswa. They are going to arrest them, they are going to beat them. Hey, we are living in this country. I'm surprised the military are not, you don't see this kind of military in anywhere. Maintain home payinsem say because in the YouTube and this if these things are not happening only in Ghana, not happening in other countries. Some of the videos, I am on Sunday because a military man going to rob in a gold dealer or something involved in a robbery is a serious induction to the institution. A military man now I want to say kind of higher kunu, you're attacking or higher kunu. It's really serious. And the majority say age more they are banned 27 no. We should give them the chance to do their work, because if we begin to involve politics into our security, that is when we begin to spell doom. Most especially when it comes to the military and the police. But the other sector like custom, immigration, and fire service, and the majority say there could be a way where like something very, very different, because you have custom no or more no in different categories, which some of them no people are sabi age as was soro na some more ade no nim there, because and then you Ghana and krano how they behave is like behave nkrasemu ena omo pija kakra no, they are beginning to reason, they are beginning to think well. Obi oye negative to a negative and total negative, because obi a negative obi oye stubborn no, Sa age na ye kanin no why stubborn na si ama why professional in that because some for ye kochi almost robbery. It could be say when they were in the society, when they were living as a normal civilian, they have been engaged in this kind of attitude before. Maybe way back in growing up in their families, they have been stealing or doing some wrong things because a bad thing, so we share uniform. Now we involved in that act. You hear police, how the police are also behaving. It's very unprofessional in some way, and I think resetting Ghana, these are one of the agendas we need to stay focused. It must party for any party sympathizers are GDC, age no wasoro, enti yentimi form military no, yenjai military no, mo in professional way, mamma yempa politics involved in our security, most especially when it comes to our security. I am more concerned about our security. Because Krumu has a Germany assembly making. Me say, me ba Krumu Lawrence, chese Ghana, ubunze ya fa security man na do watchman no da. Punu biano puno. Or rain puno. Krumu omo the glasses na ye omo puno. Enso unso biye kwa kubu grass na urem. They have cameras, they have active police. Irrespective of how the crime is, it will take time. Krana, they will bring a result. And the police has been independent in such a way, say, if even the president's wife or the president's son is arrested, the president cannot intervene. The police will do their work to the latter. This is what we say, yema ye police no ye security no, any more independent, and we should not involve ourselves in the recruitment. Most especially na mum ye mabuna ye gidi se on pesa mo som man no ye mo opportunity to serve. Let them understand say police ni soldier ne enye sika e na mo ba bepe eye som e na mo ba be som. The country should be at their heart first. And today I want to speak as a national, as a Ghanaian, a responsible Ghanaian, not a party, whatever hooligan who may defend the party in Kwa. Meaning, say president has set the agenda, say we are resetting this country. And this is one of the agendas. Let's recruit the potentials, the willing people, the ready people who are ready to serve the country and who are not in because of their personal gains or money or something. And to be 37, 38, I recruit na omeyeden. I won't say ahoden obetima serve, but ye window be. To say America for a window, say be a person military ninya contractor. They can employ you on a contract base. Now why ye a juma for some years? As soon as you renew, you go for the same training, everything. And you be na Ghana for binum me mo bidi, but ye ni me binum background and politician binum mo NPP mo peja mo beti. I was working in a US military now they were porters. They got a privilege to just serve. They were not recruited as young to train them as armed force, air force, or army. They were just as a contract base. Maybe women have America. They have this contract-based military kind of employment. What I say, anti-military, the porter been to people with such higher ages. Person be some for some years. Maybe I'll bet mine be a 2 years contract, 3 years contract. I'll bet my military be a 5 years. After 5 years, so almost I pay what they can renew your contract. Yen me porter, yen create a kind of avenue. Emma people be go do how when you but minor than a comma so and also when him be or person also at the best soon be. It is any panel you bet me up other privilege be I engage your employer momo swababe ye what they can do to help the country. Because I bring you see a fire young. Maybe I'm maybe bedroom to say Ukraine for 77 man other so Ukraine for ne say omunya force be free by be Ebiasa old people we no can come in. They will be ex-military. Still be a contractor. We can call them, say, come and back up. Not just a training or more dreams will be any more year to make a grant. If say or contract so crana say you push your more and I say renew more. They are still in the system. If you are maybe bedroom, you bit my here service. We call them back, say we need you to come and help in this way. Until a more contract you more you see, minor yet you name that minor the services of these people. You understand?
Right.
This is how I'll put
Honorable. Say you stay on a number a month from entering into the military. I think about age, about height, and disability. No. For instance, so Ubi air call military na say bia. Meaning say maybe a security person, but for the purposes of this conversation, no. So Ubi air call military na fancy be what tattoo. Some of these things, you know, it's not even but how relevant is the tattoo to the security service and now small no and I say we accept say be biana and nkwala be mu gangster kakra bi aye ntina we pin na so e bia na onye nipa bone but security ne check is anema ina and disqualifying from entering. How relevant is this?
Lawrence, my main concern, when it comes to our security, it's more of our culture transitions, a culture. Yeba adie the only sector here for nipa na Ghana, any my biano say ye fa nipa and as what be your company kurana say who employ obia. The first thing you consider is your culture. Or culture mono, what does your culture tells you? And then Ghana no ye introduce nyema binuma a foreign culture, but eno krano our culture is still resisting this kind of foreign cultures. Most of them. One, say na say why you uti rasta. Na say uti babia. Say na nipa regard. People think whether you smoke, people think whether you're a gangster, people think whether you're a criminal, people think whether you are whatever. And one of our culture, ya mamre ne ya manie mu no, se na yesi atete wa manie kwan so no, a transition. Amamre no, ni adwen say the foreign culture betima yi amamre firi ho, but amamre a transition e wo mojem so. Entimi mfiri ho da. Enti ye culture mu no say wo sese Lawrence wotiwe, say bia wa bi o company na o fire employers na obi beba na wa ye PS na yewo conscious ayi bi ebeba utim. First thing reflective on your culture. Again na wa mamre e kire say so obi abona soma oye ana say otie. Enti ebe mo hu say nipa we die wa bona somo ebi oye criminal, ebi oye say oye gangster. These are our culture things are declare a kanipa ho asem ebra yemnim nipa no. Appearance, physical appearance. And when it comes to tattoo, it's the same thing. The same way we have bad or negative impression about tattoo, negative impression about piercing, negative impression about rasta. Until uba we are see one military man or a rasta da. And the man rasta for so quite enormous who may apply with their rasta. Maybe share military man and
sometimes yetimi nkrofo from service national security or more PSN na bi ho. They are also part of the security.
When it comes to national security is different from military. It's different from professional job. Say abayanu free suna or kwa. National security is government loyalties. The people are or trust almost the and the commandos. No engage in the national security. Abayanu free suna or kwa. When we say national security, no almost 80% echo. Almost 80%. 20% no be engage from the military for the police no they may remain. Make run am against national security. How we recruit our national security should be stopped. We need to train them just like a police, military police. Na yen the expertise. Nyema also free. the society no because national security no aye no hooligans. People may say hooligans. What I say? Sana ya fan yema say national security there aban way about the national security ba or the be the dirty work or nipa or trust omo no they will die for him until he put them online because you're being say military no police no there they have been in transition aban bi abako omo asumwe until yama omo trust say they can put their life on the line for the president or for the government entina oba or pay people are loyalty to him no abe putu omo they are forming the national security national security no no more than the national the country security because national security we know where they live, we know where they move, and they are moving close to the governance. And national security no dear yen free the way one will say yeah recruitment for national security do you know what they go through? They just pick people who are really close to the government, people who even the government is turning the country down, they will help him to turn it down. And I don't blame them. I don't consider this as a formal security recruitment. But when it comes to our military, our police, we should open our eyes and put people they don't consider one government or which government, but they have the country at heart. Yen consider these people. Na yen mayeni enko omoso. I will still repeat my opinion. Say ebeya anka yen man sesayemrem. Yen started recruitment from junior high school. Yen were regions bebre region bien recruitum free ho no mo form mra. Na yen yo mon kakran ne oko junior high schools binum kra ye wo cadet ne ho niema. No akora no wo mu a training no man ye discipline or install bibi woni mu. In the cadet in go free schools. Let's encourage the schools to build up the cadet again. Now among custom training. Now you security recruitment. You focus on some of them because some of them training no more from through cadet, the same training no more confirm through military training or police training. Until the kakraka very soon they will get there, they will understand the concept, they will know what to do. Okay, Jamaiha say police ebasa obabe chiwa. Opa fre omame fre president fre when on take orders in free biada obecho because wabaso be any duty. Uni obe resisting biano so obe put charges on you. SU whether you get a fine or you get a sentence for preventing the police from doing their work because of the power the Diama police Ghana so sana police means say more powers, but the way they are playing around and until almost can mama politicians interfere all the activities. Intimate message
right.
Politics and free the security recruitment. Na mo ye mwa mabunu ye encourage omo ye nkyere omo se na obi esi som man na omo de na de soma eye chere pa because who policeman obey aduma for more than 40 years, 50 years, 30 years. No that so president obeba obeko but who policeman can say wo som man o some president obi wo mo fa ne na anam say aban NDC aban na fa no ntino or ye lawyer to NDC obi wo NPP na fa no ntino or ye lawyer to NPP eno say man no
Right.
we need to stay on our feet na yen kan no kwenche ya aban no say let these institutions be neutral because a security you're putting our lives in danger. You understand?
That's it. Mamenko doko na meso benji na jenche wo security one sense recruitment we no limitations na so doc.
Yeah, Lawrence.
Doc already know security consultant and they can be doc honorable so the account. We are looking at the age we limit preventing for getting into the army. Now, my question is, how important is this? Should we still continue to use this concept in preventing people from getting into the army? People who have real interest, genuine love, also to protect the country in such fields.
Lawrence, me that's it. Seminima this time round. The age limit Ghana, I almost say 27. Wow.
Yes.
But meaning say other countries 29. For example, Russia me way age limit in 29. But you see no more kun Ukraine one now more kun so see about 40. You say oh you're 40 years krana now over so person enlist here. Russia from before, but as much as I know or say who go through the military training. Then Argentina, I am more age, Sir Lou say if you are 27 because physical activities, right? Military no physical activities, especially the initial stage. Ube tumika, ube exercise, ube nima baby. And you also believe say unyina na ubos no system no so yede. Yemre, et say ka ukotoka mono store. It is more 1 year guarantee, even 5 years. 5 years won't touch it. Can't hold the way you must. The only thing you be changing is oil. But the can it did 5 years, a bro economy. I shall say how they will be tear and wear. San and Nippon Sweden, SCT. It's your moye no say younger age, so that they can go through the fiscal training. But the mission say there should be a special provision to say Bibliana can make a mere common fan could do up to 30. I didn't never make us sound because here is the case. We are talking about physical exercise. It's military, no. And yes, we are 30 now, and I have found no. You still have to go through the training, the physical training. And say, any 30 year, you are already 30, but in the holding the physical fitness, Ebia, Ebeas in your old 20 and I say 18 years. There are some people like that. And the Mimi Sushi say, to say baby na ekanu say nipa na dictate kura na no person ya because military and yes straight enlistment first of all to say ekanu you go to the screening stage. Screening case na gaza mimi shana abi niminu auto forms ni via oba center no na your body selections you show body so only tattoo only earrings ona ho entwetwe bebree na ya select body selection no you body selection na ya physical emirika and I say the other way yes yeah physical yeah show body ni bia na fe dey dey physical and also to emirika no so you be show mo am fit no and san o ma select o mo select o bia before you even go through the training enti minima da fofo bi kura na physical training no physical selection no atwa bibia but check training no menu bi ni mo no dwane ba fie ntimi anye training no si din dodo akoma me for so say ka age ni de ko di ko 30 dia ke ebe ye e ka mi nko dia ebe ye so that nipa no kokra na no serve military for 15 years kra na no ye 45 and I say 20 years kra na obetimi then obetimi akọ retirement. The next one American was is a minimum say security expert na no can more about disability. Yes, disability no so the end there. Me first I was say football. Football some say there's no way you can play football. That is the profession. The profession is physical and you have to be fit. The same thing as the military. The same thing as the military. You have to be fit. You have to have hands because you'll be holding AK-47. And if you have disability, you have only one hand. AK-47 and shoot it. You can't load. And as on answer, if you may say CNA or modern technology, or using missiles, or using drones. But if you find yourself in the war front, no obi two missiles now, no missiles never destroy your ammo car. And I say the underground hold you are in. You are supposed to now run for your survivor. And this your number kucha. out me operating missiles now. No to me run here. That means they will be killing you. That means you'll be losing personnel. And abuse can soldiers winning the war is about numbers. Russia, Ukraine war, you say now, it's about numbers. Russian war numbers is in Ukraine. And a assassin or open. And to get the assassin also pushing Nipa go forward. Nipa no omu wini a also omu yede omu surround assassin no. Also omu go forward and go shoot it before they can capture. You can use the drones. Disability navy or to one of my command drones no. But how can you capture the land? And war, there's always a price to win. Obi and you are all cooking wars, it is a World Cup, and I say a bobo. They be a idea that so. If you cap it, that so. African cap that so. The same thing a war here. A month for assassin. We share Ukraine Russian war now. For assassin. So if you don't have the men, a better over to me. But then, no, I know say if somebody and I should be a disability, no upper military and say army, there should not be a space. You bet my baby be a mom. Say Ocean Russia, they be a maker. Omo military no, or more other military industries are. That is part of the military. Omo your bomb, omo your weapons, emo military no. The branch of the military. Omo no say no, we employ people with disability because Nippon on call war front, but they can produce the weapons that will be used in the war front. They can produce the missiles. Omo produce it. Nimana also omo kono. So in this case, people with disability no, which my employ omo na omo yesa ejuma amao. Me feel say people with disability can work in the area and yet say omeko war front akoko. Nti me who say people with disability can do that. But Ghana hanum say no. Oko kasa na ye ni military industry biya ho. Ebi biya we import. Nye biya bullet to even materials, military uniforms na ye no.
Doc. Hello, Doc. Oh.
Police na meaning say police almost civil service unit. Almost for private people, I pam police uniform. But meaning if it is still there, and the meaning, and more accounts officer, they are civilians. Almost share uniform. Almost ba almost juma normal. No share uniform. Almost ako. Yes, with this one, say Taylor, say Cooker, ni ono animal. So you say that one they can take people with disability. On bet my then, on bet my ejmo. But say but normal soldier. Your friend will say Air Force, on one would parachute, a free jet fighter, and I say plane mono. And no, so who knew some may know, who knew nine may know, you can't even operate a parachute. So people with disability are won't to me. And I all share armed forces. That is the infantry. Omu call front. Almost forest. No money now. Almost carry heavy load. And to all your people with disability are. None to go see Ghana see in a never for forest. I call. Untimi fa wheelchair so a untimi fa wheelchair for forest. O sound so chance so a untimi hanging load no bebree. Enti you know also a qualify. Enti nima bebree eka ejuma no ho limit people with disability and age no. And you say a special treatment no. But look at the physical aspect in the armed forces and I say army no. And no na eman yes no.
Doc, madam say na who so I feel from live on Today Ghana News TV meeting. Back to topic and no. One of them happens to be a very sensitive topic. Sometimes personally they shocked kakra and ayana issues one bomb. in the sense that this Ijumai didn't say the media is the fourth arm of government, and yes, you maybe. But I say the too many people can wake up one day and do whatever they want to a journalist, and we don't see them being prosecuted and all that. I get shocked. I get surprised too. So an issue since 2019 concerning Tiger IPI investigations team. No, I remember back when Ahmed Swali, I was shot dead in Medina and check in Yankrofubi. My prosecutor, the suspect, Daniel Owusu-Kwarteng. Last 2 days, the Medina court, at this charge case. So the accused person is now free, following the directive or the order from the Attorney General's office. I get shocked. The first of all, my question is, are we even safe as journalists? Secondly, do we have to trust the police on investigation? And my third question has got to do with if we can also trust the system, our judicial system, because issue we see, in politics, and we are buying also now we see. So I'm even surprised that even the current administration, it's me following the directive of the way, and we can't bring the people to order. It's very sad. Now let me go to Honorable Doc. Now I'm on Ahmed Swali's case. There's been a final verdict. Now, no, suspect I say, following the directive from the Attorney General, no, we have to let the person go. My question is, are we even safe? Already, my boss. Do we trust the system? And as I say, I say we can't even trust our police again. And this goes to the general public. Because anybody can just wake up, take a gun, shoot, and since 2019. Honorable, are we safe?
Lawrence, I think Senior Ebisa Wasemi, you are taking it too emotional.
I am because the
accused person is not guilty until proven. Now, so many years incident we see, 8 years. Would you say the accused person is guilty? Sana will feel say the accused person is guilty.
Honorable, it's not the accused person in question.
Are you also sure?
Do we trust the police on their investigation? Or do we trust the police? Should we trust them on their investigations? Because up to now, though it's an accused person, but I believe in some jurisdiction, Nanka required to get these people out. We've set security cameras and all that. People like me, should be so problem about me. So my worry, and I was
would you say accused person no? Or you're guilty?
You rightly said, and that is the law. Until proven,
the Attorney General a bit my influence the judge. I'm an acquitted case nana. It's not that is not the point. Wrong person was arrested. Into case it's not finished. Somebody or the state can arrest another person as a suspect. So the accused person is a suspect until proven guilty. And if the Attorney General, the previous Attorney General and the state has not been able to establish any case, when say, wow, boko no na so dey down so say all the proofs ebeba say nipa we ya mede na eba no ba ko mienu miensa we e kire say ono na ya ade no now what bisa ho say have the Attorney General and the state provide enough evidence I kire say nipa na ya hold no in a custody no ye ni hana atai ebo ne kro no aye chi obi 2001 dene two almost 23 years 25 years afena omotima prove wakoda prison for so many years now proven is or you're guilty or you're innocent. Do you know how many innocent people who are in prison? When you're a media man, I would have
Honorable,
we a media man. I can sponsor you on a program, say, visit the prisons, get to know people's crime, and get to know whether they have been sentenced or they are still just in a.
I was at the Sawon prison just last week.
Nna me chero no. Enti ma me chero. Ye chi obi. Ye tim de asem to obi so. We ase niema miensa na wo wi ase a. Da bia me maame otumi force. Hwe se wo bom paye a wo be bom paye se nyame mma bi ento. Ba ko ye nsohwe. Ba ko ye sane. Ena ada wa na ka ho no na me ya skip me kakra. Sa nsohwe ene sane ene nkwanhia. Some name will be say the same, but they have different where they exist. And so it may true be na adiena or atono okushia so. And no as I be yen kwanhia onani baby and oduru baby kura na obi da ho no so ade na ye nipa ma me nkohwe de aye no ye ba ya ese wo na wo ye responsible. You see, Auntie Lawrence, nipa ye nipa, you get to a point, if you are down for power and I'm 777 man, that's what you beat me in home. I don't know him who she, but then I'm so on and I'm not, you do be a suspect. And to put yourself in his position, say, Mimi Wagan, I didn't miss through pan, is a minya court to assent because we don't have a system to prove, say, nipa we are assembly we are there tonosono. And just say, oh, Cassa, ye jano, ye attorney general say, wafale noli prosequi, by me maintains wafale noli prosequi. Attorney general so near interested won't be because state no a bohonka. Nipa na or them no say me if I were this person, if I were this guy, nkamuja mi wi na I will sue the state for defamation, for time wasting. Check the years of marching at home. If you are in his shoes, or they check it, say, oh, you're innocent and pa. If this guy have a good lawyer to prove that he's innocent, and could be still state, I damage per free state, You know why? We are putting a lot of innocent people in prison. We are keeping a lot of innocent people in custody without establishing the truth. I didn't nipa no de picture beto TV so no. Ono on serve as a witness. I didn't arrest for investigation and interrogation. Here Ghana wahu ya nhwe ya presidents bi a ye settle Ghana no. Ebe kakra Lawrence una mu baby. Akoko bi na ne baby. Ye beka say wo hu akoko no kra wa bu na ni chie ni achew. They are arresting wrong people since 2017. They have been arresting wrong people, prosecuting wrong people. The society is trying to admit, say, they are the culprits. But put yourself in their shoes. Or you'll be papa, or you'll be kum. More detaining for so many years since a friend said, don't let me talk about this guy. This guy almost on a poor asset on somebody. Wako court to a man bail. One Afoko guy, Gregory Afoko, court to a man bail. They still put him in custody. We don't know where about this case. There are several cases we have not been able, the prosecutors are not been able to establish any concrete evidence. They have not given any concrete evidence. They are putting people's father, people's husband, people's relatives in a prison for nothing because of witch hunting. Ye man no kure establish it. Say ye benipa okun ameswela. Let's empower our police investigators to look for the right people to put them in jail. Not
Honorable, I think where your point I'm with you in a sense that I've also had a personal encounter. Na ye chase police for echo mission be. Na ye chase you be. And the person ran past me. Oko atare ohye mpo no na enya mekala no bi na ohye. And so they had set the gun on me and the order was to shoot. So I also ran. And now they came after me. Said, if I'm not part of them, why did I run? So maybe question maybe say, if the police is not able to come out with the real suspects, should we even trust the system? That is the case.
You know, this is why a presidency or resetting the system. The system is too corrupt at the moment. We need a total reset. And a total reset, it should come from everywhere. Now we are resetting the court. The court, the people will have faith in the court again. Okay? Me a lot of people are, even within NPP for Krano, people are who say, omo kasati omo chassis omo nipa omo cheche omo. Today I was listening to Hosea Adoye telling his story, how he was picked, how he was detained and other stuff by his own party people because omo emerged from their party akoti omo party there. You see, Akufo-Addo has done so many wrongs. Some people may think say the right thing, but let's go and reset these things. If not, if we pretend say the right things, Sir Gregory Afokuna yedinatum on one regional chairman bia the porn acid. And as at now, Sir Gregory Afokuna, the case how far? There are so many cases I can mention. How far? Ato Forson was nearly going to fall a victim of this witch hunting. They put wrong people in prison. We heard an audio. Godfrey Dami as an attorney general. Or catcher, he said, Japa, say, on no, any dream. No near dancing tear. Audio is evidence. And some cases winning our. We have made a wrong system. We are trying to believe say the wrong system is the right system, putting wrong people in wrong places. It's very dangerous precedent. And it's a media government say we're free guy now, we're free no. But if I were this guy, I will find money anywhere and sue the state. Because when you're individual, I will sue the state. The state must compensate this guy for wasting his time, for shaming him in public, putting his name and his pictures on national televisions. Me, if I were this guy, I can state in between scam me. Wherever I will get a lawyer, I will find a lawyer. We will fight the state until some justice from the state. Akufo-Addo pay so pay, and I timi kwachi obi free ni them 1 Albert. Eko kunu a yenhu na chibio. Akufo-Addo pay so pay, and ejura ye open fire, ekuma manfo just like that without any justice. And the justice bill, what kind of system are you talking about? Say, do we trust the system? What system are you talking about? If you want to talk about the court, then let's go back and tell the wrong things and say, all these people, we need justice for these things. Yeah, Akufo-Addo Penso 2017. Ena yachi hooligans. Our Mokoko Boo, National Asante Regional Asante Regional whatever security our the office coordinator. You need free in office a call court. A call court Akufo-Addo Penso and a macho man, a ura court ko yi ni papi ye, a judge no tia kunyaso or a pregnant woman or more threatening fiancé woman. And what system are we talking about? We have putting wrong systems in place. We need to reset these systems. Because if we continue using systems, wrong, say, right thing, nanti obia justifies the guy should not go free. How if the guy is innocent and they have wasted his time since 2017 or 2018, they have put him in prison or prison custody for this so long, going to court, not working. So yeah, duma, so the manager of a company, yinedi. It is a state compensating kraka. Now you just how rubbish and so because it's becoming too much. let's say abanyaba or the nyeme tutu na kwan. We don't arrest wrong people. We arrest the corporate. We had I didn't know I thought that a binom ni attorney general nya say o delay or prosecution of some people ana medi ho yaw, because you need to make sure say the person you are taking to court is the right person and he must be punished for his crime. But you don't just rush to put wrong people in a court or in a custody once you know say you can prove their cases. And we should give the attorney general time to look at all cases and see the cases that he knew that these are the culprit. We are putting them before the law for the law to speak. This guy I'm arresting. He was afraid of the police and he ran away to UK. He came back. You put him on an arrest and you arrange him before court because oni amesware free and I say oni ninya problem na mo chatty and omo was selling the picture ma kere Japan. Okay, the top picture no so ono so onye crime, onye criminal. The airtone the airto say if somebody selling the picture to Kennedy Japan was wrong, who bought the picture was right? Is that what we are trying to establish? The government should do proper investigation. If we want justice for Ahmed Swale, we should go for the right person. The right person. Information can Japan put on a national television. Say, this guy we or a criminal, Obama premises here, and he beat his chest. Uber Europe, where money is not everything. Who cares about your money? Who cares how much you have in your account? Nobody damn care about you. What I say, if you have money, it's in your account. Nobody care. How be a year so or a homeless Kurana, he manages his own affairs. He is happy that he is homeless. Nobody beg anybody here. Yamagan and I say the rich survive whether they even kill somebody, and the poor is paying for the crimes of the rich. And insult is very insult to humanity. It's very, very insult to humanity. And people must desist. Nipa ehu hiasin sika 100,000 times. Nipa ehu hiasin sika 100,000 times. So if because we are rich into or crime, somebody should pay for your crime. Now bobodi Canadian kaso ni nipa krokun ameswali the friend Ansuji Abo or Tikumase. Adentina police inviting no emano and lead to the suspect. Now yeah inviting because on him. And he says that parents are aware. So all these people, they know all these things. And you are calling one Nansuji Abo, one whoever. We are tired. We are very tired. Crimes are possibly brave. Nobody is caring about these crimes. JB Dankwa, Yekuno, how far? How many names has come out? We have mentioned several names. So if they are quitting and discharging this guy, I'm happy. He should go home safely. If he is innocent, he is innocent.
Mm.
You understand?
Thank you.
Na ye threaten nipa na Ghana nkwana ye kura wonam so a, you should be careful. And they have to be honest. You should be careful. Asembit me to any time I wouldn't move nkwanhia accident no. Nya accident ne se ka mienu apem boom na nipa wu. Accident ni bi ne se asembit me to asema woni hu hwi na ato. Oni adanse ni bia. Wa dance ni nyame. Na afi ye de akekera to so. Se nyame nsane ama mejewa because police ni CID ya for omo no nyina no, they are there for money. They are not there for your interest. They are there to make money. They are looking for who has a higher bid. Now or no they pay for. Now innocent person, no, you serve the crime of the higher bid. This is very serious. That is why America say you recruit people people are deserve opportunity to serve the country. No more honesty so.
Honorable Medasi, I think earlier now Honorable mistake maker misunderstanding people. I used to make off track. But my worry is that, and that's the worry of many Ghanaians, that the Ghana Police Service have failed to identify the assailant despite having sketches of the suspected killers. And it's been 6 years, 6 good years. And that is why my mind worried. As a journalist, or as And I'm sure because day in and day out, you try to, sit on our platforms and address, and you don't know where this thing will come from. And the next thing you realize, Ubi Abutu Ejumano is scary. Now, politicians in my where say the media is the fourth arm of government. Nanka I say in your to me, so how to mean anyone boy protect here. And sometimes I'm very careful because you don't know where a bastard answer uni a man the cracking. Mama called doc na me as a doc.
Yeah.
But your take on this issue.
Me that say Lawrence, I know I can or say Kufamra time show that you be akunu. Statement be wo honuma. Yeah, and my Yankee kasa in some because as some all kind defamation. Obi betuma issue. Ye kata ma ye chiche nkofo eku omo a omo NDC founder at the time no. You need say 6 judges. Yeah, a former head of state, Afrifa, Akufu, Achampon, Feli, Armed Forces, Revolutionary Council, Chairman Rollis, Echichinkwo for Ekunwomu. And at the same time, 3 judges are now Omuchomo, a current parliament, a presidential aspirant, Kennedy. Kobina Ajepon, sorry, Kobina Ajepon, father account, Mr. Ajepon, and Obabi Cecilia Kratin, Ekahubi, AFIC for Ekochi Omo, Eko Modiomuko, Pedrasi, and as a Father Square, Eko Shitum, Ekuomo. Metise Obano Cronomu shooting on machine and then on Wuye. Into Meso Moko and Osa sorry, Obano, Edio Muchiso Mumbuano, and Omsa Dani Yamusa. You to a shooting a coom. And to more history of AFIC and I say NDC no, or history no. But a cool for na a more. Obi out here free for time, Obi out here champon, Omina normal VA service, Omuti Omufi, Omundi Bonibia, and a rolling small from a shoot of a coom. Be it may be, my embra, sir, carried issue. Say investigation it is not always easy. And you can investigation and I can suspect so police and the security agencies it's all the be one man underground echo information and all this it takes time. And I'm a allocation now I say studies happen no and a study a politician so can na a high level case and a police no compare or some investigation near a woman. And sorry to say, even USA, let's say how much you be to 41 years. After no more who say they have arrested the wrong person. And yet unique. So a total be a suspect person may not be actually a suspect person. Eta AC. But then coin ben na so and I coin ben this way. Near me say guy we are watching Attorney General Ejano no. Almost say on no the picture no Edukoma Kennedy Ajapon. And that means conspiracy because once omuhuni identity no they will be able to know him and they will need to find him and lead him and even though obi wait may argue say ordinary identity nature keke but on case of maybe he was unaware and then crime so do obi identity obi. I'm here to see the law. But the police people, once they see say or no the cultural identity and they needed to arrest him, investigate, detain him, additional information account because no you lead suspect. Obit me catch him say no, police ni omo here and omo here wrong. No. Say guy na the picture actually can Japan there, then they have every right to hold him and detain him. I'm here to see case no. Mimi nim case ni details. And to me comment say the attorney general or you're the right thing or not until me year investigation into details either suspect wrong the country have to compensate him, and if country no compensate no kra na ono akasa betuma file for compensation. It is within the right, and I say ne fa ho die ne ɛwɔ mmerɛkwan so sɛ ɔno so betuma afa mmerɛkwan so aka kyerɛ aban sɛ years na mo sɔtɔ sɛ me sei no ma fa nyɛ adwuma eti muntua me sika esei ebetumi aba. But then me pɛ me use politics in this, but then if I'm to bring politics, I would say Attorney General now was a CNU, Dr. Dominic Ayene. Onu ankasa no why confused. Onim ni oye den oye. Ora ni meeting and last and no organize press conferences. Adubo hin so to say or you say or evidence and no case no kra no mi hu ni okoye. Last oba so ora omeji 26 point something billion. Last time share no kra no omo nyenje kapre. But one announce so omaji say 4 billion. And due to me so no ankasa or you frustrated. What he knows doing is nolly protocol. Oba ya no enu de onimiye pa enu de oba na to force mu jakwa enti no crofo no nolly protocol no the more enti a political aspect na metumi hu say NDC omu suban na omu ye den omu da hodi, but then no professionalism to say na me kan no still menyenye facts ni na enti me follow case in up na my pay facts no na me hu he was arrested. Why are they filing all the positive 8 years no what was the police doing? They been on mission on ho or my information on ho and San Antonio General say oh or my information. This is something that or say me then me investigation further topic we know a security and sensitive topic. Nti enye bibia na obe gogo obanya. Also go into details. Nti Lawrence, mesre say me call into details. I say why omajano why ebasa why Anthony General enti me federal case ni sa no. Nti me nye details now. Then next time we discuss this the same issue make my then aka ho asem. Me that say.
Doc, maybe so. Are you as an NPP faithful? We are so much interested in this topic, in this conversation, Anna.
Yes, it's not even about NPP. This is about life, and the person who was killed have family, and they may want to find justice. They may want to know why na yes are there. This was contract killing, right? Bet much will be enti sɛ tomi a anaasɛ tomi buhyɛni a na mehu ne okum me nie no anaasɛ me buhyɛni sɛ madamfo no a ɛbɛyɛ me yɛ saa, but sɛ mehu sɛ wei na ɛyɛ saa deɛ no wei na ɛyɛ saa deɛ no a ebia ɛbɛyɛ me dɛ. So on the human aspect, on morality, yes, we are interested, and as a political party ebe feel say we are also interested in knowing who do that. This is a crime. And crime doesn't have political colors. This is a crime.
Honorable.
Lawrence, with I'm say Abanga, Dr. Adongo, wakasa yi bet mankasa ko 4 pence omo kwachi obi kun bi. On get the fact we a recorded a program na ye no. Me say Akufo-Addo pɛn so 1 Albert ɛwɔ Nkransa police opeke no as at now yɛhu ne whereabout and it's a fact nti saa record no start here ɔbɛ yes me say Akufo pɛn so yɛkyekye nipa ku ɔmo akɔfa ahwan judges ayi aba no da biara no yɛntumi build our own topic like this because me manka say Akufo pɛn so yɛkɔkyekye nipa ku ɔmo. I'm talking about recently the AC need the AC. Akufo-Addo pens 1 Albert. A man for Nkransa for year demonstration say justice for Albert. We a media man, I know say what na some Americans me no na need commenting say also correct no say no me nka Akufo-Addo asem in America. See Miss Reno, you should get the fact right. Nti say the time no be say the man or the farmer no yenya kwanya yebeka de yebeka.
Doc, I ended a submission, but I was coming back to you. Yeka police moons and some security service moons and some, and earlier you even made mention of the kind of training and baby and Kaya starting free to even get them there. Do you think say a system is weak?
System is weak, but the system is corrupt. Once they say who use computer and a corrupt system. Well, so computer actually virus da na corrupted that the system the virus no computer no so but computer no functioning year kama but and I'm say virus no so my computer no malfunction why no etimi BB programs are open why no etimi dum etimi restart it. That is our system no sana until we need a kind of a leadership obeka say no, all these things are wrong yenyi nyema we mienu we every system no na yenhwe say system no betima independent because Ghana ye more than 60 years. If we still don't understand our system now yetimi allow your system no man ye corrupt till this extent that I think say we are in the wrong path. What I say over advanced countries with how our police because bibia ye bia no we as a Ghanaians ye sue bibia for advanced countries yes, you be for advanced countries, but Argentina near important now. I say yes, from even our constitution, no, a amount for constitution, na ya peke be a film dear I. Oko court ye do asema ye make reference to cases wo UK, cases wo US, cases wo ha. Na ye dia baby bua wasem. Argentina system no dear. Ye intimi cases is other countries so. Nienka say no, these are not best practice for us. Let's come into the best practice. Or let's adapt the practice. I bet boy a system, no my system now is strong. Okay, Lawrence, meaning a police for Ghana, omoye bully. You can't say bully police personnel, omoye very bully. They can arrest you anytime, put you in custody, do whatever they like. Omo the police, intimidate your man for. You understand? You were soldier for a while because of some uniform, they are very bully. All these things are these people no and yes, a leadership no nimu. I won't say top hierarchy but their local command, people have been reporting these people to them. I don't know because these people need to get out of the system. Expert now, and I've also read it. Say Trump, order say there are people formed previously military now qualify because of this reason. One being the transgender, two having piercing and other tattoos and other stuff. Into all that's and Trump or your president into a commander-in-chief of the force into a customize a final decision. And these are the point that I got it to. I was a government I didn't see from Kase. Then go into the scrutiny of the police. Na mu disa nyambrasem no wo de hwe sojani a yesi kasoa de ya yekun minim the incident but metime hu se ebi intimidation bi akoso ba bi ha wo hia sojani a onani ba bi so na wo ba bi oti ona so a officer yes sir oti am na so Ghana o ye den ko ka kire comfort se ne seko sojani ti ona so ko ka krobesa bu aka ho because of say o she uniform o ye sojani enti asojafoɔ no discipline no sɛ mohwɛ na aba fam a Mumma yensa chira ye system no. A police mohena niema nkoyia. And people no net trust with the police. That is why they are able to crash with the police, because police are free or normal lane na so dim no I drew another lane na omo uniform no intimidate di bone nti ama nipa ne respect ema police no sign cogent and respect in the back. Let's put measures, leadership in the police, leadership in the military. Let's put measures to get these institutions trust back again for Ghanaians. Because if you have such institutions, security you lose. People don't trust the institutions again. People are now crashing with the institutions again. You understand? But me kromuha obi onim Germany had onim. Say police shiaona or no what the bonnia uni bonia omo no mbeba no mo intel. I won't say how they can also pick a wrong person or whatever. But when they realize, they will quickly discharge you. Well, it's baby, but yeah, Ghana the end of the day, too much. And a hano sono nipa omo crash omo paya ho. Namum timamufo no munim se we German ni no de omo tan crash omo te sa ho. Ahoho de wo de wo nim se wo watu bata nti wo no ba bia wo nam no omo nim se wo ye illegal ni ade nti no omo to be crash over at any time. But so when you person with color now we a German citizen kron German Brunia a difficult say omde maraboni bediu acho by Ghana police need to meet you big girl as I chine tum ka ho ni nyina nonsense. Well, I won't say police for more feelings, but don't use your uniform and your position to crash the civilians, because your job is to protect the civilians. Well, into police for more kasa see training on how to talk to the civilians. How me I've had several obi one obi din kwase na no hema hina me na anya problem. Police first I me buy na me police you know. Me police no bisa ma se na me buofu na police ni ba ku gina nche o hweme saa wase me calm it down. Na se me bufu a police no all right say obi detain me. Nti me calm it down. Because obi ma detain me until say me calm me down. Na ansa na makama se na release me. And as omo be ma me dey nti me calm it down. And since then I've taken a clue from it. And I'm ready. Say anytime many police benya encounter biano, I'm ready to explain my situation to him, and they are also ready to listen to me. Many police enya encounter bibiri. One time me to e-scooter bina me so a moto bicycle bi nkete bi na use battery. Nana minim say and I'm saying use battery because I cost speed 30 dB per kilometer. And I mean say we dey enye machine bi amekra mete so a told am say we crot bicycles so kro dwane sene me dan me share police so mo achi me na me so mo achi me say almost me number plate boy achi hey how me calm me down na me omo ye kasa ya na me say okay omo atro address ma me website say me enko register na me register ho a me nya number plate though omo nim say me nim bed still omo fine me penalty Emma me tua penalty mo but me nya abotre me nya omo abotre no mo kasa because they approach me in a nice way. Omo approach me no mo say me stop it. Na me stop it. No mo say me sure say ade ya me twi. E wo say me nya number plate because mra no kire say sa ade we use electric you know. I will say unya number plate boy kire for identity. E bi all the bo bi a. I will say unya insurance ni ade nyina. Omo kai omo explaining you know. I understood them. Nti me nya abotre. One time me no be me ko full train and me no be crashing here na also guy no from Nigeria. We had this encounter, we called the police. The police came, they listened to him, and I was calm because my involvement with police in Intino. Me calm man kasa wiye. Time I me kasa no me kasa mpena guy na so me kasa no so police say hey you are indisciplined. They push him somewhere and told him, they warned him to keep quiet because when he was talking, I was quiet listening to him. And you know, I'm confident to be say, okay, the police are very professional. Omo bias. They are not checking this.
These are the police that were outside, and they be worrying. They say, can we also have the same here? And
why can't we have these people? Why can't we do this?
Oh no, but this is the also earlier, no, I'll make you submission. I'm still with you. And this is what some people are also saying. We say, according to Ahmed Swale case, I can say, if the young man were to be a policeman, Ghana police would have found the murderer. They have done it before, and they have done it not once or not twice. But once you are not their person, forget it. He stated. I mean, Nkofo can't be say. Now the blame has been on the police. They are not doing the work well to make sure say nipa na or involved in this case, they are channel. So
Lawrence, we
this
can
is what has led
say,
to somebody say not proven guilty, not guilty until proven.
yes.
Sisi I got you be a sebi ebi mpana bibi fufuro bi, but you're wasting the time near the day now. And why we have cameras in town? I don't know if they are working or not. And if they are not, now it means we have to find a way to even route through the police service. Why the GDO police is shaky?
One would say in advanced countries, I don't, Dr. Adongo cancer or cancer America, there is an incident. Sabruchiri have police chill wrongly. Now, if say compensate you, the compensation will come immediately. But in Ghana, Emma, sa atai guy ya, Nadam Fia, your chain can't tell you who say or can a suspect since 2001. No, I Jano not recently no. Ecosi saying. I don't know whether the state is even prepared to compensate him. One, the Americans say the police, we can do better. Yeah, crew for Ghana for and a Ghana. Incident na yepesi hunu Ghana ya crew for. Enti wode hwe wonunia and a tidam. Ochina wakoye police. Oba be duro pese wo popa ne mpoboa ho. Opese wo ye ne yesa masa. Wahun. Wode fa ne sese sa nipa ya wo police ono obi wa asem society ni ma okoba de ne besi. Wahun. O de beba be bono beba be bully no. Mepa Ghana na anu adai. One incident happened in my small village. Me kochia me papa. Na me papa na ye hene wo kuro no so. And an immigration for borderline also because a borderline. And an immigration officer no watch obi moto. O di akwa kusi ho. And a obi so di ni moto aba moto fita say on service man moto esi ho aye service no. Wasa ba be arrest moto a esi ho aye service no. Na guy no say no omo mfa nko because moto no ni wura de abeja no. Na so obechi moto na e wo so di bibi press warrant say ya issue say so obechi moto no e wo ba bi a esi repairs no obechi moto no kon immigration ni so on tiase oni akwa kikiri na me to na me hwe omo. I was there before the whole incident happened. Kikiri enti no koso no na other immigration for no ba ase omo the force push guy no so ye krumu ho ni or ye indigenous person. Enti na me papa te ho na me te ho na afa me ne me papa ye farmer ne bet na ade na ekoso na machine e na me papa frɛ guy ne so omra na obaye na o se ye de na o se nana ade we na asi obi di moto abre me se me repair immigration ne ba ya o so akwa abechi moto no nti wabechi moto no okwan ben so abra wa mom emane ya o pese o fa moto no de ko e na me papa say no any immigration ne mra na ye nka asem nti wa na ye hu se immigration boss no o bi twem akọ e na me papa frɛ no Timi papa friend no na pick up na o team no ono immigration for 40 team a ebi kutatuo ebi share bulletproof vest e na bibi so omo say omo ba ko an asesen ba ko oka command immigration ni panyin no e ka ho say on ti asese ma bisa say omo ba ko an asesen enti ono so obebo me na say me odo nsa kam ye wadwuma we behwere ne nada opa try ana ne me ka na waka me ka na waka na me ka kire ne panyin ni say se odi agora na adwuma no me make sure say na adwuma we week we ento no because why na me train me phones na me starting say me ye course akọ national ne ade now you lucky say that day no na me nim the AC because that day no on the seat no and another plane crash na AC most of my calls no they are not answering nkasa akwa no kama no facing the toilet e wo hwa because it was an insult. Say indigenous people are better more community no omo na ama mo fie ma mo team omo na ma mo nsuo ma mo no mo no mo e we say mo tra as one person one people who free sen cry any say voter say him fan na wapa betana ekura na so na opese ojo bi anim ye fom e papa kro ye hene no you don't respect him or can say no ugina ho no atwa fa so boafu ti me papa menene no kasa na mbufu ye na metu me ka say no say also ye be ma me ko brekum na matwa so aba kra na me make sure say me report mo mo yi na I pick his name by bibinti metika ma me true drama na papa frame say papa ne de dwanto aba ntimi nja asem no me so no I saw you say ye nyina ye nipa na me ka chem papa say they should do the right thing so mo ma say incident we see biwa me wherever I am no me de ma change boys in so mo frame me won ye ni nipa entrasa no matter what oni nipa na ye adwuma enti ye ni nipa ntra say wo no wanya position bi enti wo yusu they don't know say code of conduct na woman using your office to abuse others a crime using your office as a police officer or whatever security officer you are to abuse others wrongly omunye boni bia or abuse omun it's a crime and they should look at it if say ye security system now we should hold it very well. Hey Dr. Abongo waba also trust anyway, Lawrence Mihana were facilitating to me say me na me host me the mouth so our security all the be politics so and dey wasem because one day wrongly no be so aka say ye suspect obi nti apeke abongo ye peke una say ye ni asem bia say na ye nyina eba be ye dey no mo njawa no nti we in Ghana we must speak to the security we can correct it. We can make it better. And your politics, we NPP, we NDC, never be a NPP, NDC. You're neutral when it comes to national issue like this. Now, police, send you what the best practices out there. No? We can have the best practice in Ghana. Fine, the police in near ho preswa. And no crano, a nipa ho adwuma na wo ye. E wo se otimi give o calm it down money pano expressing no na try to understand what he's saying. Say on tia say na ubekire ne mmara no ma wonya abotra kire ne mmara na nyeze wodu post nti hey my friend who is your friend I have arrested you omobrofo nyina no my friend I'm not your friend my friend who is your friend you see na mo putu innocent people in jail innocent people in cell me police achime ato cell da but it's nonsense metimi moto so o se me nyan license in fa number plate mo moto no to which I know I'm guilty ubeti mama me won mama akọ ya na say apaki moto no watch moto no o di moto na kosi wose me mfa moto no safo ama onam se da me dan safo asoso nti se me de kofi akwesi da we so me nsa chi me nsa tomachi no wa hwemani so me tane ya na me so hwi na ni so bi no odwen se me gya no afi tikiri mo de handcuff agu me nsa dan me ma assault police officer nam se no mo de ehun se on di kan assault me na ono odwen se me ba se oba so be bo me ho ban na so oba so ba be intimidate me me dem na Sunday me dem Monday two boy me time I say mommy bail kura no mo se da officer bi ni ho ne dia de better ye na nka me ni bi be chia my ayam but satam no de SB an enko na Ghana police omo nsu mmara na omo nye discipline they can do it abongo so mbi na can be na yenko kabina ayi ni ho Lawrence beba obeba be facilitate
to say na me kanu na me kanu me say even Russia police are detaining me Germany police are detaining me na ye me yan pa ni Germany dia no because that time na me call na ye party bi pa German for mba yi ni we mba yi omu ina arrange so o mpese omu shi obi o fi Russia eba police for chi me mi kuto Russian document dia omu ma me nko afi mi ti wasa na eye mi ti se sini no ase mi budani entu enti saade ndia eya Russian so the same thing na me court issue mi case no court police for chi me almost say documents me say case me the court documents na chi no still almost say me tin o ma de nchi I did chin am ko catch police no ni mo ojuma when the case is in the court it's beyond police and me the court case me the court papers in the actual Yes, still also maintain all ekopa ma de chi no be said that. That you don't know your duty. It may metro alcohol authority say unimojuma. Because police you have to investigate before the court the issue will go to court. And as a case work quarter, the police you have nothing doing is beyond the police. And to say, oh, what the beside me documentation me yeah. But all what I'm saying is say nipa we issue no, it was directly or indirectly related to the killing. And nothing na me feel say police for near then detaining no. And Oche case no sir, the police had information. So be a more information. Can you sign it there? Community who said nipper way and on the picture and buy and a nipper way enemy. And the police wanted information from the guy. But me feel say the guy either he doesn't have the information or he had a good lawyers who have advised him to stay away from further collaborating. Ebia anything na essence. That is why I say case in it there. Meaning the details in it. Ntimi nka details was a case no so. But near metimi aka ne say or say you put a structure in place. Meaning say structures no. If the police have detained or wrongful detained somebody, any there, if they have wrongful detained somebody, any there, or so we compensate nipa kro. Because we share guy na ebi 8 years a ma detain no. Say 8 years there, we share ka isa 8 years no wo ho there, ko there ye ade papa bi. If you ko wana sase opeso osi, ko ye nkakra ka sa 8 years no wo si ewie. So there should be a structure in place to compensate the person. And I'm can say on one say certain new honma Ghana ye say compensation or which me I file to the court. No you compensating.
But I say, I mean, a few of the messages are so far, Mr. Can I wrap up program now? With regard if it says Mr. Kumado has really given us a first class information and education. Well done. Today Ghana News watching from Bosusu in the Fantiakwa South District. Robert Kimpisu said, Richard Komodo is always on point and very educative watching from Paris, France. Okay. We so let's say Kwame Ajiman watching you live in Freiburg, in Germany. More fire, comrade Ano, NDC all the way. Thank you. Mavis Boateng, there's a watching from the family, watching with the family from Lisbon, Portugal. Thank you, Mavis. Apostle General Magu says, good evening. This is very important topic. People need to hear and learn more from it. Sikapa family says, watching on YouTube from Jumaponia Kufurudi Abato Guswa Shema and Amun Shema na immediately enquiry. Jerome Pan says, great informative program. Jerome, yes, that's maybe I will make sure I will share my patience. Dako says, good evening, watching from Hamburg, Germany. Thank you so much, patience. Jaframa TV, watching from Rara in the Utin region. Good job done. Yes, sir, Damasi. My Kweku says, wow, the education from the security expert is very deep. Education name wow, I won't be TV in I think you are missing out. We Namiya Bill. My main kind Kweku, and also watching from Kweku says, watching from Suhum in the eastern region. Namiya Prema Oye says, watching from Machenia Ho. Madam Masibi Semina Mushama Frimpon Beef. Dr. Bongo is on point on the UP. Also, the security man gave us enough education and insight. And then the Aban we call Dr. Bongo. That's someone fire. Nyame Bill says, I know some people age at 30 years but are physically strong than some 18 years of age. Watching from Kwanta in the OT region. I believe so I've done enough of the messages, no. The sorry cement me and kind there na. Sabri no medo bi asna madam penny for a so many mushia yase, Dr. Bongo and Mr. Emmanuel ano. Ene mutimbe kan sama yedi jumedi no medi Lawrence apeni eboa. Jumedi no no kremre live on Today Ghana News TV. Na nyame adoma de se ne besen ehia mo. Na yedi mpu yedi nkomo afa Ghana ho. Ene ne nkan kon. Sɛ moante ɛka bi ma na makra ndase kɛse nkɔma me director ɛne me boss Mr. Set Adi na ɔhyɛ mfidie no hyia o make sure sɛ biribiara kɔ yie ma me. Hyɛw nyame adom next week yɛbɛhyia ɛwɔ ha ya na yɛde dwumadie no abrɛ mu. Na mmom since mɛkɔ no other programs so ɛwɔ hɔ ɛwɔ channel wei so mesrɛ sɛ wobɛgye brɛ na wonya bi eti na wo nso wɔde wadwentwe akɔboa na Today Ghana News TV etumi akɔnkan etu mpɔna yɛkɛse. Sɛ moante meka bi ma da sɛ na ebɛhyia me da ase.